Hello, everyone. My name is Chelsea Langerud, and to dive right into it, all of my life, I have tried so extremely hard to hide the one thing about myself that truly makes me who I am, my visual impairment. And while that takes a lot for me to stand up here today and say that, I have come to a place where I can confidently share that I am completely blind in one eye, which I wear a prosthetic in sometimes, as I'm not wearing it right now, and I have ongoing medical issues in my good seeing eye. And while I share that, and I've noticed that oftentimes there's a lot of confusion when I share my story and when I share my circumstances, and that oftentimes people don't understand the extent to which I may have gone through in order to get to where I am today. Yet I've come to find that that's a common pattern with people and stories nowadays, is that when we see the current circumstance, the current state of someone or something, or we see the end result of something, we tend to forget or don't necessarily understand and realize the extent of the process that it took someone or something to get to that end state that we're seeing. Yet I've come to find that that process of what one may go through in order to get to that current state is the most important part. The part that people don't see is the most important part of our progress. And so, to share a little bit about myself and my story, freshman year of high school, I moved across country from coast to coast. I was living in Virginia, and I moved to Southern California. And I made a cheer team. I was on the field hockey team. I really just dove into it, wanted to get connected. And as about 5 months into my school year, I had to get emergency surgery on my good seeing eye. And so what I thought would be just a quick and easy surgery, I'll be back up in school that same week, ended up being a 2-month recovery process for me. So I was out of school for 2 months. I could barely see anything. It was in my good eye. There's a lot of circumstances and medical stuff. So I could barely see anything. And I had just moved to a new school, new state, high school, which is a whole new ballpark. And I was immediately thrown into a place of isolation. And while we're all used to the term and the idea of isolation by now, it looked different for me in that while I was isolated, the world around me was still going, was still moving. And so this made it really, really difficult. I thought I had made a community where I had moved to and made friends, but when it came down to it, I really only had my family and a few friends from Virginia there for me. And so because of this, I was in a really difficult circumstance. I was at a really low place in my life that I had never really experienced before, and I didn't really see the fruit or the benefit of what I was going through. I was lonely, I was isolated, I was confused, I was lost, I didn't really know myself. And so I remember part of that, maybe halfway through that recovery, and I thought to myself, I could either sit here and let this situation and my circumstances overtake me, or I can learn to embrace it and try and find the good in it and what it's teaching me. And so from that point, I was able to understand that what I'm going through is going to shape me and is going to better me, and it has purpose and it carries a healthy weight, and that as I stand here today and reflect back on that situation and what I thought was terrible circumstance in the moment, I see that I would not be where I am today, I would not be who I am today had I not experienced what I experienced back then and had that open mind. And so, concluding today, no matter how big or how small or how recent or how long ago our stories or difficult circumstances may be, they all carry a healthy and really important weight. And they all, if we allow our perspective and our mind to see that and embrace our place of pain, in our place of difficult circumstances, then we'll then be able to really embrace our current self today. Thank you.